no expectations for this build.
Oh well, I guess we're gonna have to see what happens here. So here comes game 4 in Broodsport number 1 between F91 and Idra, with F91 taking a 3-0 lead in the series. And here we have Idra spawning in the top position and F91 spawning in the bottom position, and surprisingly enough, F91 is scouting straight towards Idra, as one would expect on this map. Um, this map is quite peculiar, as it does lend itself for Terrans to play slightly unusually. This map has promoted to port play, which is very, very unusual, and that's because of the long distance between the two mains via the ground, but very short distance between the mains by air. And so I think we're definitely going to be seeing Mutalisk play from F91, and I'm very curious to see if Idra is going to be playing a Wraith style, or if he's going to stay very defensive on four racks in his main.
Yeah, and this map does have the backdoor and all those expansions. You know, there aren't too many maps like this where the mains are close and there's a lot of middle ground for fighting, and there's, you know, the entire center of the map is kind of like a circuit that wraps around the map, and expansions littered all along there. So a very confusing and complicated map. I really wish it had been a little more balanced and we could see a little more from it, since I think it kind of reminds me of the great map Bifrost, which, you know, everyone loves. So I really wish it was a little more balanced. And here comes the drone scout from F91. Standard play from him, I suppose.
Very well. I guess F91 really does love this style. Yeah, I completely agree with that. The reason that this map is in this event here is because it's such a unique map. It provides such an interesting style of game, and it really is it was great to see it back for a while, but it was kind of unfortunate to see a million ZVZs on it though, which kind of killed the map for a lot of people. Still, I love this map for TVZ. It's shown very, very balanced stats, so it should be fun to watch, especially seeing as Idra can't really play the one racks take expansion, same old build that he has to do all the time. We can see that he's taking his refinery already, so we're definitely going to be seeing some kind of tech here.
Yeah, for sure. It's just unfortunate he's playing the only the only opponent in the world who drone scouts, because now he sees that it's some sort of one racks tech build, and he's just that much more prepared for it.
Okay, so F91's drone scout's still alive, being annoying as possible. F91's expansion at his natural is about halfway done, but Idra has this SCV up in the top right. Now, I would be very curious to see what that SCV does now that F91's drone scout is dead. It looks like he'll be preparing something, and yes, I'm seeing a proxy factory, and this is, I don't even know if that's proxy, but it's definitely hidden. A hidden factory. Not uncommon for this map, but still very interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how F91 is able to defend this.
Yeah, for sure, and just given the layout of the map, the terrain of the map, that, you know, I guess we could call that a proxy factory. It's just going to be straight into the natural, as opposed to going through all these bends and up and down for the standard scouting pattern that we can see this SCV taking. So I think this is a nice build. I think it's kind of difficult to predict, especially because F91 lost that scouting drone, so now he's just going to know something is coming. Unfortunately, the counter to this is kind of Hydraless, is a catch-all that counters both mech and vultures and hydras, so I would expect to see that. If he tries to go for some sort of muta build, he's going to be in world of trouble.
Well, I think F91 knows something's going on and has placed that third hatchery at the ramp down there to be able to block it off, choke it off, and prevent any kind of vultures from sneaking in and running into the main. Meanwhile, Idra is building his vultures. He's got one out now and a second one coming out. Oh, that vulture did a bit of a moonwalk there. And Idra is adding a starport in his main, so I guess these vultures are purely for pressure, and the starport will be the real feature of this build.
Well, it could be a vulture drop, actually, now that Idra sees that the sunken colony is in there and placed well. The vultures aren't going to be able to do anything. Two vultures out now, no movement. Here they go. Really a strange build, and F91's sunken colony really shuts it down. I don't know what Idra's going to be able to do other than trying to run around the entire map and come in the back.
Yeah, well, F91's cleverly placed that hatchery there, and he's got that nicely walled off with 2 Zerglings. And 2 Zerglings and a Sunken will be able to stop 2 Vultures. Here come the 2 Vultures, they're scouted by the Overlord, and the Zergling's going to try and catch them before they get into the main. Idra showing some great control there, as we've come to expect from him. And oh no, that second Sunken has managed to clean up one of the Vultures, and has thus rendered this lone Vulture in the middle between 2 Sunkens and unable to do anything. He will get a complimentary drone kill though. Otherwise, that largely failed.
Wow, who places a second Sunken there? I gotta feel bad for Idra. I mean, who could have predicted that? Now we see the dropship coming, but I don't know what he's gonna be dropping. I don't see... He's got a Vulture and a couple Marines, so I guess it's gonna be an M&M drop. I don't know how effective this is gonna be. Zergling speed started, it's probably not gonna be done, but there's quite a few Zerglings out there, so I really don't think this is gonna be too effective for Idra.
And F91 has now started has completed his Hydralisk tech. It is not over lair yet. He is getting Hydralisk speed, so he will be building a few Hydralisks to prevent any kind of mech follow-up from Idra, which reasonably he could expect. But I do think these Hydralisks will be quite effective at being able to put off this drop. I mean, they aren't the best against Marines, but still they can chase away the dropship. And with that many Lings running around, I really don't think he'll be able to do much. I really don't think F91's going to have too much difficulty stopping this drop. And here comes the drop. I don't know if it was scattered by that one Overlord. It's definitely scattered by the second one. And F91 is moving his Zerglings into place, and this drop is doomed to fail.
Yeah, for sure, especially with Zergling speed about to finish. Idra will still try it, I bet. Here comes the drop. Zergling speed finish, and he's got the Firebat in a nice position. Oh, that actually looks really nice. Medic in there in the center healing, doing really well, and it looks like this is going to do a lot of damage. Hydralisk speed finish, but not many Hydralisks out. F91 is going to have to run his units. I guess there's a few units left there. Idra needs to go back, load back up, and bring more units in, and this could be really effective.
Wow, I'm very surprised by Idra's micro there. I mean, that was brilliant, the way he was able to save that Firebat. But here come those Hydralisks, easily be able to clean up those 2 lone Marines, and F91 has control of his main once again. And any kind of follow-up now, I don't think will be too effective because of those Hydralisks out that will be able to snipe that dropship. The dropship is, however, heading towards the natural, and there's nothing sitting at the natural at the moment, so maybe the drop will actually be effective after all.
Yeah, if he drops it above the ridge and looks to control that ramp, that could be really nice. Still no lair coming, but Hydralisk range is not done. Here comes the dropship dropping behind the mineral line at the natural, and that's really annoying, especially with no Hydralisk range. Not much F91 can do there. Idra can be free to bring that dropship back and ferry more units in. Looks like he's going to try to get something done. Here come the Hydralisk, going to pick up the Firebat. Idra targeting drones, that is such a mistake. What is he doing? Oh, just so bad, and that just gets shut down. I don't know what he was thinking in that situation.
That drop had so much promise, but alas, once again a bad decision there by Idra. I mean, he has managed to save his dropship, but range is now completed for those Hydralisks. So those Hydralisks have reached quite a substantial number, and are looking very dangerous. And I mean, F91 right here could take the decisive 4-0 and take the win, but we'll see how much money he can get in the end, I suppose.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if Idra's even gonna, keep playing after he's lost the entire series. I mean, it seems silly not to play for a game for $25, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's got a reasonable army here, 2 vessels, a tank. I think siege is done in a few groups, but I just got to think by the time he gets all the way around the terrain of the map to F91's main, and he's got to push up all these ramps, it's just going to be too hard. And here comes the dropship getting sniped as if map hacks were on. That was actually a perfect snipe, and Idra is all but dead in this game.
Yeah, I mean, F91 will be able to move out with these Hydralisks and pretty much stall Idra's push across this mid-ground because, as you just noted, the hilly terrain there. I mean, you got to go up that ramp, up one ramp where those Hydralisks are right now, then down onto the low ground, which is very vulnerable to flanks, then back up onto the high ground. But if he manages to control the high ground outside F91's natural, he does have a pretty good chance of doing some damage here. However, I think F91 will be able to stall him quite effectively and build up quite a number of units to be able to take out Idra's push eventually. Lurkitech is about 80% or 75% done now, and those Hydralisks are not letting Idra move out of his main just yet.
Yeah, the dropship was empty for sure. Looks like F91's getting a little antsy. I don't know why these Hydralisks are pushed so far up. I guess is a little annoying for Idra, but just with this kind of Saron Hydra Ling army and a third base going up for F91 at the bottom left, uh, really Idra is, oh my god, he gets sniped immediately as he moves out. That vessel takes a lot of damage. Tank gets sniped. He snipes the Hydra that got irradiated. This just is looking like Idra needs to climb Mount Everest at this point. Really, and here comes the flank. What a positioning coming in, and Idra is going to lose his entire army in this one battle to Hydra Ling. Oh my god, I feel for him.
This has really got a tilt Hydra right now. I mean, you just don't lose armies to Hydra Ling anymore in TVZ. So that's really got to be eating him up inside. I mean, one of those vessels is almost dead. The other one is still on full health. But he did lose all his tanks and a sizable portion of his marine medic force. I mean, Idra, I got a feel for you, man. And F91's taking up her third base, a third gas, and is ticking Hive. So Defilers will be out soon. And Defilers will all but seal the game here for F91.
Yeah, for sure. Hive Tech before expansion does not look good in TVZ. Idra, man. I gotta say, told you so on this build. It just got shut down so easily by F91, and especially with that second sunken placement and that hatchery. Looks like he's played against some sort of backdoor shenanigans. Was just expecting an unfortunate to play against, but I really don't think this build was all it was cracked up to be.
I completely agree there. I mean, I don't know how Savior managed to lose this, although I suppose that the fact that F91 had that obscurely placed sunken at the back there, that Savior probably didn't have that, and he managed to do a bit of damage with those vultures. That's the only thing I can say from watching this game. And here we go, F91 pushing in with a Hydra Lurker. I'm sure you're happy there, Chill. Lurker's burrowing, and those should be able to clean up those Marines. They're not going to be able to get up the ramp, back up the ramp. Hydra is sniping the tank, and those Marines are just going to be melting under Hydra's fire. Two tanks up on the high ground being able to stall any advance here, but still, I don't see much hope here for Hydra.
Yay! I guess the one consolation I can take is I got to see Hydra Lurker, but it's not even real Hydra Lurker. It's kind of a Lurker and a shitload of Hydralists, and now F91's just basically baiting Idra to move far enough that he can just come in and clean him up and finish the game at this point.
And Idra's just fallen for it. He's moved his two tanks out. I mean, he's got to take an expansion now with this command. And if Munson is floating across. But there we go. F91 is in perfect position with those lurkers. Takes out the tank, takes out the rest of the marine force. That command center isn't going anywhere. Idra has nothing. His main is almost lined up. There's the GG. Idra is down 0-4 in the series. F91 win in the series. And he has won himself $200 from that game. The game earned him up to 100. And then for winning the series, he's going to win an extra 100. Now the question is, how much money can Idra get out of the series from this position?
Yeah, he's free rolling now, baby. Just 3 games left. I wonder if he could sweep it. That would actually be quite surprising, actually. I don't think anyone would have predicted that F91 would 7-0, except in jest. So, it's even though the game's over, there's still money on these every one of these games. So it's still interesting to see how much money comes and if Idra can turn it around.
Yeah, well, the next 3 maps are the Courage maps, and the Courage maps should be Idra's best maps of the entire lot. Colosseum, Destination, and Medusa are all Terran favored. They should all work very well style, and you should have played them a great deal over the past few months. If he was going to make any kind of money in this series, these are the maps to make it on.
Yeah, I gotta agree, and I'm wondering what was the big factor here, because we see Idra play some incredible games, and then we see games like this series, so I don't know, is it lag, fatigue, boredom, pressure? I'm really interested to hear kind of a post-event interview from him to see what really happened.
Yeah, I'm quite curious to see what's going on here as well. I mean, I must say F91 has prepared very well for a man who has been hospitalized recently, so full credit to him. And so now we move on to Colosseum, which I've already mentioned, is a Courage map. What do you think about TVZ here?
Well, I find it actually pretty... It depends. If Terran plays mech, I find it difficult as Zerg, and I know Idra has his Jesus mech build, or whatever you want to call it, that cured AIDS and ridded the world of Zergs, but I really don't think it's that effective, the variant I've seen him do. I have a lot of difficulty playing against mech, but there's a lot of open bases and they're spread out. So if it comes to a standard game, I think this map plays kind of like Andromeda, and Zerg shouldn't have a lot of trouble against standard, SK style.